Hello, 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 and welcome to another one line of code. I am One Line. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Let's get started. Bam. And we're off. So, hello, welcome back to another wonderful episode of the stream. Wow, that looked like I was peaking. I hope that wasn't super duper loud. I wonder if my microphone is still turned up from when we sang last. Whoops. Hopefully we're good and it's not blasting your ears out. Anyway, when last we were working on this, we finally got started on the UI implementation of the redesign of the financial management tracker application, which you can find on our GitHub. It is open source. You're free to contribute to it, have fun with it, etc. Use it for yourself. It's usable-ish. So anyway, we are working on updating the look and feel, and then eventually adding a few more features and just keeping it looking nice. We've been working from, I don't have Figma open, from our Figma design, or the designer's Figma design, I should say. Since we're not the designer, we are the UI developer. But luckily enough, over here to my left, which is your right, the designer is working away. We're able to ask them questions and they'll give us answers. Poke your head in. Anyway. Here's the design file that the designer gave us. So if you didn't catch on by now, we were the designer and we handed this off to the developer, which is us. So this is the file that we have to work with. And so I don't know what this is. Why is there a guide? Or whatever this vertical line is. I don't remember seeing that before. That's very weird. Oh, it's telling me where this thing isn't. Oh my gosh. Anyway, moving on. I've said anyway about 8 times. I'm gonna stop saying anyway. But I might still say anyway. So you know what I didn't do? I did not publish Monday's video. So I'm gonna do that at the same time as continuing on, since there's a few things that happen. Let's go with click button, find out what screen this is gonna open on. I have so much music going through my head right now. I wish I could stop everything for like a month or two and just do music for a while. It would be awesome. I mean, it's hard because I never want to stop writing code. I never want to stop working on software. But at the same time, I struggle to do both because time and stuff. Okay, it opened on the correct screen. Back to this screen. All right. What broke? Reset toolbar. Oh, wait. The following new tools are available in this version. Reset and create. Sure. Works for me. Title. I push this button, change this to 239. Why didn't I change to 239? Okay, I did. And save as JPEG. This one. Okay, so the thumbnail is created. So all I have to do is go over and upload. I have to write a description of what we did and then push the upload button. But yeah, if you feel like saying hello, feel free to tell me how your day is going while I am doing this. Otherwise, feel free to stay quiet. Whatever you feel like doing. Okay, in this video, we made progress on implementing the new UI redesign into the actual application UI or something. Copy, butter. Grab the thumbnail, click save, and finally export to your tubs. Like, oh. Okay, I'll remember to update the thumbnail for that at some point in time. I'm sure if I have it open over here, I'll remember. So what we have been working on is getting the landing page to look like what the designer gave us. And we're focused currently on the app top bar. Specifically, should we have or have not created two components, one for the app brand and one for the app links. And that is what we ended up doing. Then we started styling it. And we started asking the question, what breakpoint should we use? And in doing so, we have this resource, which Dukasoft found for us. Thank you so much, Dukasoft. And that is here. It tells us what exactly to do with breakpoints. It's just weird that desktop wouldn't allow us to or not wouldn't allow us to, that they don't have like they have these categories for these sizes, but big desktop. Wow, they're even counting, yeah, up to 1920 as regular desktop, and then big desktop is 1920 and on. Where desktop can't go as narrow as 480, for example. Which is weird because, like, you know, how many times do you have a bunch of windows open on your screen and your browser is like squished down? I mean, it's probably not often, but still, like at this width, yeah, it's a little bigger than 480 by about 100 pixels, but it's still possible, you know? You do know. I'm gonna take a peek outside my door because the doorbell just rang. Sure, it's just a delivery though. Yeah, it was just a delivery. Okay, back in 20 seconds. Woo, that was fun. I'm back. Okay, so I do need to read through this. I didn't do a good job of reading through it between streams, which I wanted to do, but I was doing other things. Not stream related. Yeah, so we are working on focusing on this title bar. So at the moment, what I am going to do is ignore the breakpoint conversation because I don't think that that's necessary for being able to style the initial app top bar. I think the main reason that I brought it up before was to determine whether or not we were going to style everything as if we were on medium size or large size or whatever, and then have everything be responsive when you shrink it down, or the opposite. Design everything or implement everything at the narrowest size and then make the breakpoints for the larger sizes for responsive. Stairs, am I right? So yeah. I think we're good to go with this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to finish creating the top bar. I'm going to set this up the way that I have before, which might make it a little hard to read. So let me know if you don't like the way it looks, if it just bothers you a lot. And I will change it. Where is the app though? There you are. I couldn't find the app window. Okay, so let's put you there. Let's squish you here. Actually, you know what how did I used to do this? I don't know, it's fine like this. Oh, yeah. I did used to have it like this so that I could get the dev tools. We'll put it at that size. And it's already looking better to me with the background like that. Okay, and then we can get to you. I usually make this one a little bit shorter so that I can grab this one easier. Cool. I think we're good to go. So here is the app brand, which is the icon or logo with the application title. And then we'll be able to show and hide the title based off of breakpoints and stuff. So in order to style this from the top bar, we do need to use : deep because it is a child component of top bar. Top bar app brand. And so what we did with app brand, apparently it wasn't open yet. What we did with app brand is we put it inside of a container. Dude. Oh my gosh. Sure, let's see what CSS you came up with, even though it's going to be wrong. This looks like way too much for... Yeah, this is definitely doing stuff we don't want it to do. We don't have an app menu in it. We just have... Move. Okay. We don't have an app menu yet, but that's going to be our hamburger menu. Cool. So that worked. Good job, Copilot. So what did it give us? It gave us a display flex, which is something I would have done. And not only that, I would also have justify content space between for the entire top bar content. The H1 needs to be a little bit smaller. Wow, it's because it set font size to 1.5. We don't need to do that because we're using a H1, which is going to be relative to the font size of the title. And right now, regular H1 size looks good. I really, really dislike this font. What font are we using? Helvetica? I'm not liking that. Let's try... I really don't like that. Why did I use Helvetica before? Was it because that's what's in the design? Or what? What font do you have, designer? Segoe UI. Which I do like. So let's go with Segoe UI. And if that's not available, let's go with Arial Sans Serif Serif. When did that happen? Let's move you down here with the borders. All right. Do you look better? Ugh. Eh. Not really. I mean, yes, and like what we really need is some kind of designed font for the title. Because most sites, they really do use a pretty basic font, right? What sites were we using? And think of any of the financial sites. Let's try Yahoo Finance. What do you look like? So they have finance in a normal, well, I guess it's still a stylized font. That's different than the font used on their website. Bloomberg has a big ol' advertisement at the top, so it's really hard to see their title bar the way that it's supposed to look. Yeah, this looks like the same font as the rest of the site. And did you see it get smaller at that breakpoint? So that's not uncommon. No, computed. Font family. Font family is their own custom fonts, but is that the same font as their body content? Let's call you body content here. Yes. Same font as their body content. Hi, TBD. Do your best. I hope you win. Don't worry about here. We'll be thinking about you. You're gonna get a high score. And you're gonna be able to put your name on the leaderboard as ace. Move cookies. Another one that has an advert gap at the top. Actually, this is weird because I don't have ad blockers or anything in the browser that I know of. I mean, maybe Malwarebytes does it, but nothing that I purposefully added. And there's like this big gap at the top. And then a summary of some of the top, whatever these are, symbols. markets, but you would think that this is what it starts off with. Or you know, maybe even have this on there. So let's say this is what their top looks like. Again, the font for their top bar is sans serif. Nice. And then their body content is a custom font with a fallback to serif. But that's title. Let's just try body. Do you even have any body content on this page? Here, body content. Metric web, which is different than the title. So the thing that I'm trying to look at is it common? More common? Common/more common to use a different font, a stylized font for your title bar than it is for the rest of the site. So here's one that's more similar to what we are doing, which is here's a title bar with a bunch of links, a button, and content inside of it. And then your app brand here has a logo and a title. And it kind of looks like the logo plus title is SVG. So the text is even stored inside of the SVG for the logo, which probably means it's its own font. It has its own font, because I don't think we'll be able to tell. Source Sans Pro. Body content. Source Sans Pro. Yeah, it's hard to tell because this one is an SVG. Text. CNBC. Here, this one should also be fairly son of a. This one should also be fairly similar to what we're doing. Interesting. Interesting design choice. Is this like only the accessible dumb? Oh, no. It's that the CNBC is part of this SVG as well. I see. Not helpful. Come on, guys. We're trying to take a poll. Yeah, and this one doesn't look very good to me. Morgan Stanley is a huge company. You would think they would spend a little bit more on their UI design. And same thing. They have a PNG as their app title. I think the consensus is we should take a picture of a hand-drawn app title and use that as the top bar title. Fidelity, you guys have a good site. You have the hero section that I really liked, and of course this is going to be a image. This is not an image. Yes, it is. It's got to be. Are you a background image? Is that what's going on here? Yeah. Come on, guys. So yeah, if we're gonna do anything that is custom, right now there were 4 sites in a row, maybe 5, that were using an image for their app title. Morningstar with a logo inside of it. Man. So it really does seem pretty common to have a stylized text title that is SVG. I'm not that creative. I can't do that. And the whole reason that I was looking at that to begin with was because I don't like how this one looks. Even if I change the size? Question mark. Let's start with H1. Specifically on the app title. Where's my hot reload? I mean my CSS autosync. Oh, compiled source. Do I have an issue in my SAS? Oh, duh. So I was starting to show I know what's happening. I was starting to show you on Monday adding SAS files as isolated CSS. But what I didn't do, and I remember that I didn't do this just now, was, this isn't shared, was tell these to compile. So right now I only have appbrand.sas. I don't have appbrand.razor.css. And I meant to say .razor in there for the SAS. So as I mentioned before, you can right click, go to web compiler if you have it installed as an extension, and compile file. That'll give us that. So it adds an entry into compiler config for that specific file. It defaults to the same folder as the output location, but you can, for example, redirect it to a different folder. The other thing that I forgot to add in app.razor was our new file called external libraries. And what I'm using external libraries for, I'm going to put that first. What I'm using external libraries for is for things like font libraries, anything else that isn't controlled by us that we didn't write. So if I was going to be using Bootstrap, this is where it would go. And that file just looks like this. Import URL and then the external library. If we were using Fluent UI, for example, that would go here as well. And I bring that up because I'm still considering whether we should use something like what do they call their grid? Easy grid? Simple grid? Anyway, whatever they call their grid, I plan on using that for the transaction list. Ha! I got it. I didn't just drop it. We also had this added, and it is there. Good. We also added appbar links, but I have not added a SAS file to it yet. But I may as well. Appbar links.razor.sas. Control Shift or you didn't see me right click and go to web compiler. That's because it has this nice little shortcut Alt Shift Q, and so I used that. And now we have those. Okay, so what should have happened now is that we need to rebuild. Because for whatever reason, when you add an isolated CSS file, it hates us. It's just angry. You'd think it was a frustration type or something. And let me make sure that this h1 is the correct CSS variable custom property. Nope, it's font size. I knew it. I knew I needed to double check. And so I did. Oop, itchy. Compile succeeded. Man, I got this song going in my head. I really, really like this one. I kind of want to play it for you. It's created by Suno. I just happened to prompt it in a specific way. I don't know if I'm actually going to play it or not. And if any of you have reservations about AI generated music, then please feel free to voice your opinions. And yeah, I don't have to play this at all or anything ever. I just don't have a issue with it. Is this even the right password? No. Wow. Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. Stop reading my passwords off of my glasses. I will cut you, okay? Oh, wow. I'm never going to remember that that's the password for this account. Okay. Pause you. And it's kind of a exciting song, so I don't want it to like give you anxiety if you come here to chill, but just tell me to stop. Use your safe word. So these lyrics, let me turn it down a little. These lyrics I played with quite a bit. And so the music itself was generated by Suno. The lyrics were a collaboration between Suno generating original lyrics, me adding in the lyrics that I wanted from a list. I have a document that has a whole bunch of lyrics that I like that I just jot down and try to fit them in places, and Gemini to revamp the lyrics. But this one's a nice little drum and bass version of it. I love this. While we're listening to that, maybe we'll keep going. Okay. Title. We should be able to affect the font size now. Yes. Perfect. Actually, I am going to call you And this part here, so like I originally had this song generated when Suno was at version 3, I think, maybe version 2.5. And it, oh man, I still have that. And it only had like a maximum limit of 2 minutes. And then they recently extended it to 4 minutes with version 3 or 3.5. One of those two, but now we're at version 3.5. So this morning I extended the original song. And that's what all this last part is. It sounds so good. Wait, why did that happen? Oh, yeah, because I took the height and width off of the icon because I am going to change that here. And the way that I'm going to do that, so yeah, so that's that song. The end. Don't play the next one, please. Thank you. I really, really, really like that song. Like a lot. Back to this. Right. I was gonna tell this thing to have a height and width of the current font size. Yeah. So I think this is gonna be, what is that? Oh, that was Big Kami's. I was like, I hope that's not playing through our stream. Yep. I'll be undistracted here in like 12 seconds. 12 seconds from now. Actually, from now. Maybe from now. No to that. Maybe from now. You save. Done. Done and done. Okay, so now the Monday's stream will be posted to YouTube. Oops. Okay, so that looks like this, which is bad. So do I want to keep it the same size as the title? Maybe? That would make more sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I really, really, really need an image for this actual application though. This was an image that Dukasoft found for us. If you couldn't tell, Dukasoft is amazing. Just amazing. Need I say more? So the app title and icon, or I just want a new, I want the icon for this app, but as a non, like I'm artistically inclined, but I don't have the skills to do art, nor the aesthetic part. So I don't know. I don't even think I can call myself artistically inclined if I don't have any inklings on what to actually put here. Whatever. We'll find something. Right? Right. We're looking for this. Actually, we're looking for the design. For the links on the right with the button, that's going to be our next target. So we're going to call this good for now. The background though, the background needs to not be a solid color, and we need to be able to see the app background through it. And that would be in top bar .sass, and background color is going to, it's going to be background transparent. No, what did I do? I had a background. Well, let's do transparent for now. But I have a background of, not I have, sorry, the designer. Oh, yeah, it gave us nothing. The designer didn't give a squat. They have this gradient that's going from the top of the page down. And I think I'll be able to achieve that with the way that we did. Why aren't you updating? With the way that we did the... Poop. I need to get rid of this. Do I need to? Oh, I'm so confused now. You're styling the contents, not colors, not... I don't know. I don't know what you're styling. Let's see. Top bar is styling everything that's inside of the top bar and overriding any extra stuff. The margins, the spacing, I don't want. I don't need you to tell me how it's laid out. The padding is definitely something that matters, but the padding should be on the top bar itself. Maybe. What if I put the padding on the contents? As opposed to like padding on the top bar. So when we look at this, we will see the top bar doesn't have any padding or margins. And then the contents inside are the ones that will have whatever padding and margins we want. Which means that this is going to also need a padding. We don't need font weight. We do need color. Right, and that means that I took away the align items. Wait, no I didn't. It was never there. That's weird. Right. But this also needs align items because it's inside of a container. Or align content, whatever. Try items this time. There we go. Perfect. This will be a link eventually, although, is it common? I mean, it is going to be the app bar for the entire application regardless of what page you're on. So that does make sense to make this a link, but does it make sense to make it a link on the homepage? Let's go back to one of those other sites like Fidelity, I guess. And is this a link from the beginning? It is, and it does redirect you to the landing page. So it's a link no matter what. So I think that that's a good idea to do. What was that other site that actually had an icon? Not Morningstar, Morgan Stanley. No, you did not have an icon. Oh my gosh, which one was it? I'm so good at remembering. Bloomberg, maybe? CNBC was a picture. Investopedia. But this was an entire SVG with both the brand icon and the text. But yes, both of the... What I'm looking for is, does the icon also get included as part of the link text? And it looks like yes. So maybe instead of div, we just make this an anchor. A site? Are there any other considerations that I should be making right now while setting up the structure? Yeah, man, like this is another common thing among other sites, which is that the app title, even though it's a link, doesn't get the underline that links normally get when you hover. And that's typically not good practice to take away the text decoration for a hovered link. NerdWallet's broken suddenly. But it is common. We do at least have an outline on it, so that's good. They didn't take away the outline when it has the focus. And we have that too, except that we can't really see it because of the vertical padding. So I'm going to take away the vertical padding. Oh man, but then also the horizontal padding. So yeah, the top bar should have horizontal padding. Oh man. So many considerations, you know? Maybe we can do it like this. I have an idea. And tell me if you hate this. If you feel like it, of course. There's never any requirement. So when app title has the focus or is active, well, no, not active, has focus. We're going to keep the, oh yeah, we're going to get rid of the outline, which, like I just said, bad thing to do normally. But instead, we're going to target the inner app title and give that the outline that it would normally get from the parent. Default border color. And we'll see what that actually looks like. I think it applied. I just don't think that I'm picking the right selector. Focus, duh. Focus is what I meant. What did I put on here instead? Focus. Wait, that is the right selector. So when it has the focus, instead of the entire anchor element having an outline, we should only give the title an outline. Yeah, I don't even see the rule to remove the outline, so it doesn't look like it's compiling correctly, or did I not save? Or what? Am I not targeting it correctly? We got app brand. Oh, yes, yeah, I'm not targeting it correctly. It's when the app brand has the focus, not the app title. My bag. And there we go. That's what I'm looking for. So if I were to tab to it, then yes, it actually does do what I want it to do. And we can see the element that has the focus. And that is pretty typical when you're tabbing around. Let's look at another site. Bank of America. Oh dear. Oh dear. Guys. Oh, because their app title is not a link. Of course, I had to choose one that didn't follow the same pattern. Yeah, guys. Guys. Yeah, my guess is that they don't have outlines on this thing when it has the focus in their app title. And the weird thing to me here is that we have our focus. We have our focus up at the top. So this is the very first thing, and I have no idea what skip navigation is, but it seems to be pretty prevalent in other sites. I wonder if you just get it for free inside of Chrome or something. No. So it's got to be an accessibility specific thing. But there's a skip navigation. And then this tab that I just now performed should be this element here. And you would expect the next tab to take you into search, but instead I'm pretty sure it takes you to the hamburger menu, and it does. And then the next tab takes you to market, and then business, and then investing, tech, politics, CNBC. And then for the ones that don't have menus that pop over, then you get, oh, where did I see those? Then you get the underline. But apparently, these all have submenus. And then this tab takes you to make it. So this is an example of why you shouldn't remove the text decorations and or outlines for active or focused or hovered items. Because if I'm just using the keyboard, I have no idea where I am unless I take the extra second to look down at the URL and be like, okay, make it. This probably lines up with this link. And then there is nothing for select. But that is the item that has the focus. And then the region. And world. Yeah. Not helpful. We're going to try to do a better job than that. So there you go. I don't like that there is no padding to the right, or it just nudges up right against it. But I don't really want to. Maybe I do. Maybe I do want to add a padding left and right for the actual app title. Which we are an app brand, right? Good. So I want all of our basic sizing to happen in the app brand component. So padding It shouldn't have a top and bottom currently, I hope. I believe on header, angle bracket H elements, they have margins and not paddings. So I'm going to do a padding of 0 top and bottom, and let's say 0.5 font size left and right, which is going to shift it quite a bit. So then I can get rid of the gap, or at least decrease the gap to 0.5 so that it's 1 em total gap between the app brand, the icon. Ooh, that looks like a lot more than 0.5 em. Maybe 0.25. Oh, because the font size here is based off of H2. So I do want to make this based off of the root font size. That looks better. Looks better. So then, do I want to get rid of the underline? I mean, we saw that just about every single site didn't have an underline on their app title. So I think the answer is yes. So text decoration. Although I think I need to put that in hover specifically. No. Oh, I see. It's probably that they have a rule on anchors that are not hover. Text decoration none. And then on hover. Text decoration underline. Kind of thing. Maybe. I don't know. We'd have to go read the spec to find that out for sure. Okay, so we spent, what, 30 minutes on just the app brand, maybe an hour? So now let's shift over to the links. LYNX. So if you can tell, I'm going with this. We'll probably, when we get the actual logo from our logo designer that we hired, which is supposedly gonna be done at some point in time. Once again, we're the logo designers. Then we can figure out what to do with the actual text for the title. Because I don't know, I just don't like it. I don't like this. And I really don't like the gap between them that far. So I'm going to get rid of the gap overall and just leave it with the padding. Because that looks better to me. At least at this viewport size. We'll probably have to adjust it when we start doing responsive. Oh, but if I do that, then the outline. Oh my gosh. Considerations. And now that now the padding looks too big. Okay, we're just going to be happy with that. I am curious though, what do you look like in all caps? No, capitalize is the one where it changes the first letter. Oh, uppercase. And then the alternative, so I don't like that. The alternative would be small caps. Isn't it called small caps? CSS, text transform, small caps. Font variant? Font variant. Interesting. Is it supported by everything? No, it's not supported by IE. But yes, all modern browsers. Okay, so we're going to see what it looks like, and then I'm probably still going to decide not to use it anyway. No need to apologize for lurking. I appreciate you lurking. Thank you so much for hanging out. Ooh. Maybe I do like small caps, but maybe I just need a completely different font. But I just don't know which font would look good for this title, especially when we add the rest of the content. So I think we're going to come back to that. So like the design that we were given just has Sego UI, which is what we tried. We really shouldn't offend the designer and be like, we know better. Because the designer is the one that chose this font. So maybe we'll have a discussion with them and see what their thoughts are on finding a different font, especially when we get the icon logo. But yes, I do hope you're well, Napalm. I'm getting a whole bunch of lag. That's why you see everything taking so much time for me to update. I don't know where all this lag is coming from, though. But it does happen to me often. It's like I'll be working in Visual Studio, everything will go smooth, I'll save, and then things update immediately, which apparently I am no longer getting CSS autosync. Oh, yes, I am. But anyway, and then every now and then I'll click somewhere, and then I'll have to wait for like 5 to 10 seconds before it actually puts the cursor there, and then I'll cut the line, and then another 5 to 10 seconds before it actually does the cut operation. It's very weird. But TVD's back, and he says that was rough. Rough in the sense that the questions were hard, you don't feel that you did well, or just rough that it was one of those types of interviews that was like, why are you asking me that? Why do I need to answer that type of question? Napalm says, trying to learn BDD and Python today for integration testing. It's delightful. Okay, yeah. I mean, Chad is so super busy that you're probably going to step on so many other people's toes if you send us a large message. But I'll wait until you're done typing out the whole thing before I read it. Okay, so what we've done so far is we've styled the app title portion. We set it up so that the entire app title itself, app brand, which includes the logo, is a link that will take you to the main page. So if we were somewhere else and we click that, it takes you back to the landing page. We set it up so that when it has the focus, the outline is only on the title even though this entire thing is an anchor element. Hello, foolish Snabble. HDD is the most productive paradigm. Is HDD different than BDD? I don't know either of them, nor what they stand for. Hate-driven development. You have to teach me that. Behavior-driven development. Okay, I like that. I can imagine the concepts behind behavior-driven development and where that could be beneficial. But hate-driven development, I don't know. Maybe, I guess. I could see some concepts working there. What I want to style is this side next. All right, so I think TBD typed out the whole thing. Is there more? I'll give you a few more time to type out more if there is more. Otherwise, I'll read it out in a couple seconds. So let's head on over to the app links, which is where? There is more. Yes. So I'll keep waiting. App bar links. I already gave you a SAS file that we can work in. I called it links. Actually, it was probably no, I kind of remember calling it these. Yeah. Okay, I saw a short message, which means he's probably done-ish, or we'll keep typing, but by the time I get down there, you'll be done typing. So TBD said about his interview earlier. Oh, he actually put the end. Thank you. What he said about his interview that he just had, and it was his second interview, which is for the position he was originally hired or originally interviewing for at the company that he's working at. But when he actually got hired, he was put into a different position, and now he's interviewing for that original position again because it's now C#. Anyway, so he typed today, the guy, nope, I missed one message. Okay, let's start with the very beginning message. The organization I work for is using PHP. The sister companies and parent company are using .NET. So the two guys I talked to yesterday were super keen. We had a great conversation about architecture, how I might approach updates to the software, etc. It was productive chat. I felt nice. Now today the guy I talked to is an engineering executive in the company I work for and very PHP or Java. So he was focused on how I might make changes to the existing software. He then finished it with, being that you're not super experienced in PHP, how do you go about telling PHP devs how best to do something? And didn't look best pleased with my answer of, I collaborate with them and don't sit in an ivory tower? That's a really good answer, though. I think he sees the architect role of, do as I say or I will strike you down. And Snubble wanted to tell a story as well. He says, I told it to TBD earlier. One guy I worked with despised the sales guy. Whenever the sales guy came up with an idea, my friend either said, that's a dumb idea, or RTFM. However, sometimes the sales guy came up with a good idea, but my friend couldn't admit it. So he worked the entire weekend and implemented it, updated the doc, and sent an email saying, RTFM. What is RTFM? Right the oh, read the manual. Got it. Nice. Thank you. Thank you, TBD. I forgot that you had a documents emoji. I just never realized that that's what that meant. But now I know. So Snobble said, that kind of architect loses their job quickly in Norway. Nobody listens to that person. Pretending the feature had been there all along. You have this emote available to you. I know. I just don't really look at the names of emotes. Like this one and this one and this one. I don't know, this one. And maybe this one. Times 2, apparently. Okay, we're going for this. Yes, display flex. We want it to be in a row. We want space between, but we also want the UL inside of it to be display flex as well. I still don't know why you have a background though, app title. But we'll get that fixed shortly too. So I'm going to review this to see if we need all of those. I don't think we do. It didn't give us a good gap between stuff, so that's kind of annoying. We also want justify content to be flex end. But I want to stay up with chat. TBD responded to Snobble saying, I don't know whether I'll get the role, but the way this company works, I might get fired anyway the way I'm going. No, you're going to get the role if it is something that you want. Do you want the role? Yay or nay? That will tell you whether you're going to get the role or not. Because you are definitely smart enough, you have the skills for it. Padding on the links themselves would be good, but first let's start with a gap between everything. So I don't want a background. I do want the color. And do I actually have a class called AppBar text color? No. Quit hallucinating stuff. As if. Box shadow. Why? Why would you put a box shadow on the links in a title bar? Okay. Gap of taco. Gap of, well, we have a gap of 0.25 on here. Interesting. Well, that, oh, duh. Yeah, no, that worked. It was the gap between the UL and the button currently. And now a gap between all of our list items. We do need these. Yeah, we need list style none, padding 0, margin 0. That gets rid of the basic UL styles. Align item center, and I'm justifying content flex end because I want everything on this side to be end aligned. If we ever localize this and do right to left, then that means that everything will get switched to the other side. But we're going to put a gap of 0.25 between each of you, and 0.25 is not enough, so we will do 0.5. That might also not be enough, but we'll find out. All right, more conversation. Snubble says, not exactly sure how your work situation is, but some workplaces are not worth it. WRT, you guys in your acronyms. I don't keep up with acronyms. Like, I should know all of them by now, with how often you guys use them, but there's always something new. There's always something new. With regard to. GBD says, I will do my best. I want to develop good software. The potential of this role is to be able to make change to the organization. And that sounds like something that you are interested in doing too. push it away from the button a little bit. We need to make the basic styles for the buttons too. But padding for the links overall, we need 0 top and bottom, and whatever we put for you, which is... Oh, we didn't put it in there. Okay, so no padding for you. We'll leave it up to the top bar to determine what your padding is. Wait. No, this padding here should have applied to the entire app brand, which includes that. So are you not actually getting applied? Top bar, top dash bar, beep because it's a subcomponent. And we will say background color pink, just to make sure that we are selecting it. We are, but that's only the left side. Oh, duh. Right. Maybe I will go ahead and call this app links, just to be consistent. TBD says, I think in general, it's way too easy for developers to do what's quickest and not worry about the future. I will comment on that some more, if that's okay with you. I think someone who can support them in following good patterns and practices might make better software. Do I have CSS file for each component? Kind of lost here. Oh, I'll talk you through that, and welcome in, says DukaSoftBot. And then TBD also says, or I could be being naive and a year from now be a grizzled solo developer who just wants to collect a paycheck and go home. I'm 1/3 of that statement, because I think there were 3 parts to that statement. I'm a solo developer working from home, but I never want to just do work and then stop doing development. I kind of always want to do development. So I'll do development for my job, and when I stop my work day, I want to stop working on my day job and do whatever other development I want to do, but still something along the lines of development or creative. Right now I'm doing music. So anyway, so PXWG asks, do you have a CSS file for every single one of your components? I don't. I am doing it where it makes sense to do it. So the app, or this top bar here that has these links, this button, and the title is called the top bar component. That one does have an isolated CSS. And then I split up the 2 sides of it into 2 separate components as well. I debated with myself whether to split them up or not, because they are not going to be reused anywhere else, technically. So I was like, why not just put all of the HTML inside of top bar instead of creating 2 subcomponents? And I don't know when I made the decision to go ahead and split it up into 2 components, but I did. And so now I have this app bar component. And I think it was because I was considering that maybe I want different ways of displaying the top bar based off of the content that's inside. So maybe these links here will be different. I'll have a login display when you do log in, and then maybe when you're on the data entry page, the top bar does not have the title like this, or it doesn't have all of these links like this. Maybe it has different functions. It definitely won't have the getting started. So I would say when you're on this page, hide the getting started using a property for that component, as opposed to on the top bar. But then again, I could just put that same property on the top bar. Point is, the styling for the top bar is contained within the topbar.css file, topbar.razor.css. Then I was like, for sizing and any of the basic stuff for either the app brand or the app links, I want those styles to be contained within the .razor component for those. So yes, those also have their own .css files. The way that I structure my CSS is that anything that is a global style that will apply to everything will get put into this partial Sass file. Or just partial Sass files in general, I should say. This partial Sass file is just all of the basic global settings that we have. We have this hide me. I don't really remember why we have a hide me. Screen reader only, stuff like that. Then I have things that are specific to certain element types. So all of my button styles go inside of this partial CSS. All of my grid styles go in another one. All of my modals go in another one, forms, etc. Then they all get combined in one app.css Sass file, and that's the one that gets compiled to my base app.css. So this is the combination of all of those partials. But then if there are things that are specific to components, then I create an isolated CSS file for that component. So here, nobody else cares about my app links being a display flex, flex direction row, all of that stuff, So that's why I'm putting it as a isolated CSS file for here. What I wouldn't do is for every single time I encounter something that is a class link, let's just call this a link. Even though this isn't an anchor at the moment, maybe I want to style it as a link. Everywhere in the app that I have this class link, I would style it a specific way. I wouldn't create a .link rule in the CSS for an individual component that would go up to my isolated CSS. Whatever these are called, my partial Sass files is what I said. Anyway, PXWG is saying, I'm using PHP and Tailwind, and when I finish the projects, I still need to deliver. I want to start using C#.net as the backend, but still need to learn about it. By the way, can I use Tailwind CSS with C#? You absolutely can. And can I only use the CDN? You can choose to use the CDN if you want. I believe there's also a NuGet package. So one thing that you get when you're using C# and you're doing you're doing anything, but you're doing UI, is that you can find NuGet packages, which are packages made by other people. They are libraries made by other people that you can include in your project that give you functionality like Tailwind, for example. So someone has made a Tailwind NuGet library that you can add into your Blazor UI and have access to Tailwind. Here's another one by someone named Megabit. I thought Blazor Eyes was Chris Sainty. I could be wrong though. Blazor Eyes. I totally thought this was Chris Sainty, unless he rebranded. Maybe. Unless it's always just been Blazor Eyes. I mean Megabit. That's what I said. Oh, Chris Sainty's Blazored. My bad. Blazored. Anyway, point is, you'll most likely be able to find just think of them as packages. I mean, NuGet, npm, Node Package Manager, NuGet, kind of similar. C# backend is more expensive host-wise. Not necessarily. I don't have experience with hosting JSP or PHP or anything else, really, not gonna lie. I've been doing .NET for a really long time, and all of the apps that I manage, so just to give you a quick, here are some of my credentials. My day job has me managing a whole bunch of web applications, and these are them. And right now I'm hosting all of the applications on IIS on a virtual machine in AWS. So on an EC2 instance. Because I am just a mere developer, and I also do all of the server maintenance and administration and configuration and database stuff and the entire stack, what I don't see is how much this costs. I just ask for the resources and they say, here you go. This is your limit. You can only have this many resources. So I don't really know how much it costs. Hosting my EBS. So this doesn't really have a backend. I mean, this is just like essentially a placeholder site. This is about it. But this site here is a .NET Blazor WebAssembly application that does have a hosted API that I deployed with this to Elastic Beanstalk, and just running this page with the certificates, the domain, the Route 53, which is the DNS registration stuff. I think this is something like $50 a month, which is crazy. And I'm sure I can make it less. Oh, it was mostly because there is a database that's running as well, or that I had running 24/7 when I wasn't even using it. So I stopped that instance and now it costs less. But anyway, if this was just something more like github.io, whatever, we'll just go to this one, like a static pages. So this is just a static pages that's showing off some of the components that I have inside of a GitHub repo. This would essentially be free if you're deploying to Azure. But again, you're talking about having a hosted backend. That is being served in the cloud, and that can be really inexpensive if you are just sticking to it being like an API, or something that doesn't have a whole bunch of constant messaging that's going around, or needing to access data storage, that kind of thing. But PXWG is saying, I recently did a website, but I have so many problems with it. I think I wasn't very consistent with the layout. If you could give me a few tips, I would appreciate it a lot. Sure, let us take a look at it. So on, just so you know, this is going to be a very cursory review, and I'll just tell you some things off the top of my head. But if you want something more in depth, on Fridays on this channel, we have Community Day. And I need to turn Big Amy down because he's looking through sound effects. It's really distracting. But we have Community Day where we can go into detail about whatever topics you want, including personal sites. If you're interested in getting other people from our community to, man, that was nice. I really like how that started. If you want other people to take a look at it and give you some feedback as well, you're welcome to join our Discord and post in the probably portfolio one. I don't know. Pick one. Find a channel that works for asking for feedback. Oh, ideas and feedback on your site. You definitely don't have to if you're already a part of way too many. Our Discord is quite quiet. I like saying quite quiet. Our Discord is pretty quiet, but we do have a lot of really, really cool and amazing people there that will not tweak you, that will not treat you like an imbecile just for asking a question the wrong way. This is really annoying. Anyway. Inficio. Pianos. Oh, planos. Avali. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is this Portuguese? Yeah, I like the layout so far. Cool. Yeah. One of the things is navigating from from page to page. Seems kind of awkward because everything has this animated fall in. So too much animation can turn people off of the site. So the first time that I go to this page, I'm like greeted with this cool animation. I love that. When I leave that page and come back to it, I don't want to see that animation again. It was cool the first time, but I saw it. I don't need to see it anymore. That's a comment feedback. That animation only happens once when you scroll to it on the page. I like that. Here, I like this blur effect. Yeah, I do. I was going to say that it could be distracting for if you're trying to get to the links. This might need to be faded just a little bit more so that the links pop more. Yeah, I don't know how you're storing state or anything, like when things are visited. What it looks like to me is when you navigate from page to page, you're doing a full page navigation, so it's not a single page application. That much seems apparent. I could be wrong though. But when we go back to the main page, it's reminiscent of a Blazor WebAssembly app that has a lot to load up front, doing a reload. So it's like everything has already loaded. Why do I need to see that again? Are you still loading something again in the background? And it looks like you are. So it's like you're reloading all of this content again when I've already seen it. So one recommendation is to maybe switch to a single page. Oh, it is hard coded in the HTML. Maybe look at using a single page framework, single page application framework. And that could be in JavaScript, that could be Blazor. If you're gonna want to learn C# anyway, may as well try it out as Blazor. Try converting this page to Blazor. You should be able to use all of the same HTML and CSS you have. You'll just break it up into components. Just copy and paste the HTML, copy and paste the CSS. Blazor is not JavaScript. Blazor is C#. So Blazor uses a markup language called Razor. And Razor allows you to mix in regular HTML and C# together. So this here, this UI state, this is how I manage state in my application. I have a class that is available to the entire application as a singleton. And when I need to get the status of, let's say, have they visited a page, then maybe I could have a flag set inside of my UI state that just tracks, here's what pages they've been on. And actually that would be more like telemetry, some kind of telemetry helper. But here it's like, I have this message dialog in the main layout. So any other page could pop up a message dialog just by saying UI state.show message dialog. Here's what content I want it to have. And then again, each page is not a reload of the application. It's just a keep everything the same that is the same. So watch your DOM when I navigate. Did you see it flash and then reloaded the head, body, and then ending HTML tag? Compared to let's say that I'm going back to the Hello, Apocalypse. Let's say that I'm going back to the main page. The DOM didn't change at all. If I have this expanded all the way down to the layout, the only part that has content that changes is right here, this main. So let's say I go back to that data entry page. Then there, the only thing that changed was this small section here. So everything else stays, and then only the parts that get updated change. And that's the thing. So this is all C#, like I said before. So this is a C# application that's running. The content here didn't exist until I clicked on this page. Yeah, so if you're thinking about this, the reason that I said JavaScript is because this is the same as if on your page, let's say that you have all of these animations that happen, and you were somehow telling the server to render the page with those animations, then the server would be doing all of the work for the client, which it's not. I'm assuming that you have a lot of this stuff in JavaScript. And I think I said that the wrong way. You probably have these animations in CSS and JavaScript. You could tell the server to serve these animations for you, which is using Blazor Server, for example. Or you could just keep it as JavaScript. The point is you're offloading the work to the client. So my computer is the one that's doing the work needed to do the animations. And that's the whole point behind Blazor WebAssembly, is you're offloading all of your interactivity, navigating from page to page, to the client, which means that up front, there is this cost to pretty much download your application to their computer. Which you can see here. It's in one of these. Here. So what you'll notice is that the files that this page downloaded, squish, you're not going to be able to see it. All of these files are DLLs, which are application files. And so we're serving DLLs when the person navigates to the page and saying, download these 3 megabytes of .NET runtime in WebAssembly, and also download my application DLLs. And then they're just running the application through their browser on their computer. And so all of the interaction between going from tab to tab, any animations that I would have. Here's an example of animation in Blazor using only C#. So this thingy here, this guy, this guy here is an SVG, and this entire UI, that's transparent background and all that, is done in Blazor with C# only and CSS to do the actual shooting of the arrow. Worst restaurant ever, served DLLs. They were chewy. So if I did a shoot of, let's just actually hit the target. 90. I missed. Full power. I can barely see it. Still only 64 points. Blech. Anyway, so that's all Blazor. And what that does is it has an if statement that says, are we shooting an arrow? And it feeds it a C# class, an object that is the projectile, the direction that it's going, the speed that you started shooting it at, the angle, and the I think that's it. That's all you really need. Oh, and the height above ground. And all it does then is it sets up all of these divs that are the arrow, the SVG for the arrow, and it displays it. And the CSS is set up so that it'll animate the divs that have a certain class on them with a delay for nth child, essentially. So it's actually a whole bunch of divs that are animating from one small part to, oh, damn. My goodness. What in the world? Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that. So automated roams is is my bot, obviously, and it's sitting, or it's using an LLM, a local LLM that's running on a computer over there. And whenever you do the arrow game, I feed it the information of how you did and tell it to generate a response to the person that was shooting. And it just told TBD gamer, get better. The end. Oh my gosh. I apologize on behalf of the bot, TBD. Shade was thrown. You're allowed to throw shade back. Or you can be the better person. But anyway, so as far as your site though, those were just small suggestions. The animations, of course, we talked about. The reloading the page every single time that you navigate from one page to another. These could also be tabs that you just load the content. Like you can use, again, vanilla JavaScript for this even, where whatever is serving the content is some kind of API endpoint or controller or whatever it looks like in the programming language that you're using, where you say, give me the content for this section in JavaScript. And then you say inner HTML is that content or whatever. And that way it's not reloading the page, taking 1.2 seconds or whatever this thing says the waterfall is. I guess it's only 600 milliseconds. No, 1.13 seconds to load the page. Because people don't want to sit and wait for the page. But I see what you mean by your layout is inconsistent, where the content is kind of stretching and shrinking the page, and you're getting a scroll bar later than you expect, and yeah. Do you actually have a login form? You do. Oh, cool, and it uses Discord. That's nice. I like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, I think you would benefit from trying this out. And again, you don't have to use Blazor, but since you are wanting to learn C#, Blazor would be a good technology to try out. If that's too much, you could do MVC, which is, again, not just the pattern MVC, but a project type. Where you go file a new project, you actually have a project template called MVC, and it sets up a project for you where the server side are called controllers. They have these things called controllers, and they serve views to the user. And then the models inside of there are self-explanatory. They're the things that drive the data that gets displayed. So let's say you have all of these plans here, then each of these plans might be represented by a model that gives you the title of the plan, the stuff you get with the plan, how much it costs, and then whether it was selected or not. The telemetry can be easy now because I had to make sure if it was reloaded or not before adding anything to the database. Yeah. So yeah, again, if you want to talk in detail about this, I'm going to stop there with it. But if you want to talk in detail about this, feel free to come back on Friday, same time, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time to 12:30. And 10:30 was about an hour and 45 minutes ago for me. And then 12:30 will be in 15 minutes. Cool. You're always invited, never required. We'll see you then. Oh man, I'm having so much fun with these apps though. I love my job. I get so frustrated at the code and getting stuck on very small things, but man, I love it. I love it so much. Okay, let's style these links. I will rub it in. I will make you want to be the same. I really do want to encourage people to be like, what is it about your job that you might actually enjoy that makes you continue doing the job and not go somewhere else? Even if you are overall disgruntled with it, there's probably something about your job that you can say, I enjoy doing XYZ. Programming is cool because there is always a problem we have to figure out, says PXWG. Gilgamesh, hi. Gilgamesh says, I want to talk about this amazing investment opportunity. See you on Friday then? Again, if it's relevant to the channel, then yeah. You can talk about that for sure. TBD says, actually genuinely happy for you. That's awesome that you enjoy what you do. And most of them of our own making, to PXWG. Is there a shortened version of your name? I just call you P. No, that's terrible. I don't want to call you P. Power. Nice. Let's see if I can remember that. I will do my best. And by do my best, I mean go over to my notepad that I have stream notes on, which is not open actually. PowerPoint was my old IG, or Power Joint, sorry. I was like, PowerPoint, yes. Power Joint was my old IGN. IGN. The gaming company, or is that like the shortened version? I'm telling you, all of these acronyms, I know nothing. In-game name. IGN is a magazine company that is now overall news reporting. Yeah. It's okay, you're right on my heels. You pesky kids. I was watching a guy who does music talking about music, and he's like, maybe I'm just old, grumpy, something, whatever he said. It's like, well, I am 29, so I guess I am pushing old and grumpy. Thank you. I'm 40, though. 41. 41. Oh, I do have it open. It's called Notes. EXWG __. Met you on, what is today? 7/10. Sorry, for those of you in Europe, that would be 10/7. Or just about anywhere else in the world. Cool. Maybe I'll remember. 44, old man TBD gamer, over the hill. Right now it's 1920. So at 17:20 or 17:30, I will be live on Friday for you. At least until time changes in the US again, which is going to be offset with what time it changes in Europe. But I am guessing, I don't know. I can't guess. I can't guess anything ever. I can't do math. Math is terrible. What do we think about these links? They need something else. You know what? These links could probably be font variant small caps. What do we think? Font variant small caps. Ew. Uppercase? Oh, which is actually text transform. Yeah, so I stream for 2 hours total. So from 17:30 to 19:30 your time. I don't know. It's this font. Like, I love Sego or Segway or however it's pronounced. Sego UI. Unless it's not actually taking Sego UI. It is. Because Arial would look like move. Yeah, so it's definitely using this first font. Roboto, maybe? I don't know. I'm grumpy since 15, says Gilgamesh. But yes, you're allowed to troll, Gilgamesh. One thing that you will notice about me, maybe you've already noticed it about me, is that the joking part of me is a little slow. I treat everything that I receive as intentional and not a joke. That way I don't accidentally offend someone that is trying to be serious, because the opposite tends to happen to me, is where everything that I say gets treated as a joke, and I'm like, I'm actually trying to be serious. So I want to give people that opportunity when I respond to them. But I do my best to read the social cues and discern which is supposed to be sarcasm or joke, and then many times I just miss. A swing and a miss. So I don't like the all caps for this either, but maybe font weight could help us with this. And TBD does like Roboto. I mean, there's a reason it gets used quite a bit. It does look better at medium font weight. Medium bold. But now they look too close together. So it's almost like I need an LI. But I don't like it when people... Actually, I do like it, but I don't think people like it when this happens. Yeah. I think it goes like this. Yeah. So I don't know if people actually like this or not, if it's appealing or not. I need to talk with our designer, see what he thinks about it. My guess is he's not going to like it. I don't like it, actually. So maybe not that. They just need more space in between them. That's all. But if I put too much space in between them, then they're going to start running into this thing a little too early. So the breakpoint that we're supposed to have before it collapses is 768. And that is right here. So that's not going to work. I guess something that I do want to prevent from happening, now that I just saw that, is I don't want it to wrap. So let's turn white space to no wrap. That's good. I don't mind if the button wraps, but the title also. And then this is going to break everything. But I guess that's where our font size for the title would shrink even before our breakpoint. And that should take care of it. TBD is saying, I genuinely, oh my gosh. I genuinely love this process you're going through. It's highlighting so much to me. Like you spent so much time on developing those designs, but now you're implementing. Things just feel different or aren't working, and it's meaning you're having to review things that some people might consider done. Highlighting that need for agility in the development process. That is to continue through this wonderful cycle of design, implement, release, design, implement. Yeah, the whole cycle. I know the stages. Anyway, doing design multiple times throughout the process. My analyst and PM needs to watch your streams. I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, I'm taking the time to do it because we have the time to do this. If I were truly trying to be a developer, trying to roleplay this developer that has pressure by management to release a product, then we probably wouldn't be taking as much time and asking these questions. I'd probably be like, you know, I should talk with the designer about this design choice, but I'm the one implementing it, so I'm going to make these all caps. I'm not even going to talk to the designer about it, even though in his designs he put them in proper case. And this getting started is like super small text, but we don't do super small text in our app. We want our readers to be able to read things. I mean, our users to be able to read things. And just for you, Power, I will keep referring to this UI designer, but that was just another stage in our earlier streams where we were playing the role of a UI designer who was given this app and said by the client, which we are also the client, I would like this to look better. So please give us a redesigned application, a redesigned UI. And we treated ourselves as someone who knows some HTML and CSS just enough to get by, but we were much better at doing design. Even though I personally am not a UI designer, I don't have a lot of confidence in my skills. I'm trying to reword that. I don't have a lot of confidence in the way that I do UI design. So ad tech roleplay, you're right. You're right. I do love roleplay though. So yeah, anyway, the one thing that I do want to fix before I stop, because we are at the end of the stream, is I want to get rid of this background. I don't know where it's coming from. I could have sworn that we had told the background to be transparent, and we did. Okay, so the background is coming from somewhere else. And that is probably the header content. So let me turn you back on. No background there. No background there. Yeah, I have no idea where it's coming from. We have our background image, which is this gradient angled view. We do have a background color, but that shouldn't be affecting the top bar. This is the only place that could be affecting the top bar. Oh, Sheila. So I probably have both background color and background set. And so I need to unset background color. Really? That's not it either. That is very confusing. So we'll look at that. Man, it'll have to be Monday. But you did see where if I start specifying a color, it's going to affect it, which means that this background is correct. But for whatever reason, background transparent isn't giving us, unless, excuse me, can you move, please? There is no background. It's just, it looks like it's black, but it's not. That's just from the gradient. So it's going to look fine when we update the style for the hero section. So crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Okay, hello Xcoding. Oh man, I totally missed out on doing these. Shout out to TBD Gamer who streams every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern time, which is UTC -4. So that was about 5 hours ago, 5.5 hours ago. And this week he's on holiday from work, so he's been able to stream a little bit longer. In fact, I had to leave your stream early because I went to do exercise before you ended. But it was a great stream this morning too. Always a great stream. And then Xcoding is also a streamer developer who works on making his own custom shell. Really cool stuff working in C#. But my wife was so mad at me this morning. That long stream cost me. Gilgamesh streams too? Does Gilgamesh stream? Because if Gilgamesh streams, I've been following you. I haven't seen you go live. No, he doesn't. Oh, he's just a great developer. Okay. I was like, I'm following you because I'm sure that one day I'm not following you. One day we shouted you out, and I follow everyone just for the fun of it. Hopes were up. Just dash them. Mojo Fawad also streams, who is a member of our community. But I'm going to see if my shout out cooldown has terminated. We're going to shout out Xcoding. 15 seconds. Okay, so that should be plenty of time. Andreas, are you ending soon? You've been going for a long time. No, he's still going. So we are going to raid out to another amazing developer, Andreas Sastev. And then here is the shout out for Xcoding. Cool. So Andreas does quite a few things. He also works in C# when he's working on his bot, but I believe he does Godot, I think. But he's making his own engine. That's what it is. He's currently working in C, making his own game engine. And it's been a lot of fun watching his streams. But yeah, so that's it for me though for today. Ciao for now. I will be back again on Friday. We'll have a community day. You're all invited. If you have stuff you want to talk about, I will be opening up the Discord voice channel. If you don't feel like using your voice or you just aren't comfortable doing so, you can still participate in chat. So that's going to work. But that's it. Ciao for now. Oh, I will post the VOD for this to YouTube. If there was anything that you missed that you want to see and you aren't using Twitch to watch it back, it'll be on YouTube for the rest of time, as have all of the previous streams been. Okay. Bye, Apocalypse. Thank you for waking me up. Ciao.